The hum of the clippers always filled the house with a familiar, almost comforting drone on haircutting day. For Maya and her twin sister Chloe, it was a bi-monthly ritual. At 21, still living under their parents' roof, these days were a strange blend of adolescent nostalgia and adult indifference. Maya, with her long, dark copper hair, often found herself in a perpetual state of hair evolution. The rich, fiery hue was her signature, a defiant splash of color against the often mundane backdrop of their suburban life. She'd spend hours, sometimes entire afternoons, with a box of dye spread across the bathroom counter, transforming her locks. The black PVC cape, her preferred armor against stray splashes, and the clear plastic cape over her shoulders were her essential tools. She liked the feeling of control, the tangible change she could effect on herself. Chloe, on the other hand, was all soft waves and sun-kissed strands. Her blonde gray hair, perpetually highlighted, was often given a perm by their visiting hairdresser, Lena, to enhance her natural curls. Chloe embraced a more effortless, bohemian vibe, a stark contrast to Maya's dramatic flair. Lena, a woman of efficient movements and a perpetually warm smile, had been their family hairdresser for as long as they could remember. She knew their quirks, their preferences, and the unspoken language of their individual styles. One crisp autumn morning, a strange idea began to germinate in Maya's mind. It started as a whisper, a fleeting image, then grew into a persistent hum. What if she went completely bald? The thought was so radical, so utterly unlike her usual hair transformations, that it thrilled and terrified her in equal measure. She broached the subject with Chloe during their morning coffee ritual, a shared moment of quiet before the day truly began. Chloe, sipping her herbal tea, almost choked. Bald? Maya, are you serious? Your hair is gorgeous. All that effort, all those dyes. Why? Chloe's voice was laced with disbelief, a hint of concern. Maya shrugged, stirring her coffee. I don't know. Just a feeling. A crazy idea. Like shedding it all. A fresh start, maybe. Chloe, ever the pragmatist, was against it. It's a huge decision. You'd regret it. Think of how long it would take to grow back. Despite Chloe's protests, the idea clung to Maya, growing stronger with each passing day. The upcoming hair appointment with Lena loomed, and the internal debate raged. One moment she was convinced it was a liberating act. The next, a reckless impulse. A strange, almost electric tension began to permeate their shared space, an unspoken acknowledgement of the monumental shift Maya was contemplating. Then, a few days before Lena's arrival, the feeling intensified. A profound sense of impending change, a prickle of anticipation that settled deep in their bones. And surprisingly, Chloe's initial resistance began to waver. She hadn't fully embraced the idea, but the initial shock had faded, replaced by a shared sense of wonder and a strange curiosity about what this drastic change would bring for her sister. The day arrived. Lena's familiar minivan pulled into the driveway, and soon the house was filled with the familiar scent of shampoo and hairspray. The black, modern barber's chair, usually reserved for their father, was set up in the living room, ready for the day's transformations. Maya, a nervous flutter in her stomach, sat down first. Lena, clippers and scissors at the ready, smiled warmly. All right, Maya. The usual trim and a fresh copper dye for you? Maya took a deep breath. No, Lena. Not the usual. Lena paused, a slight frown creasing her brow. Oh? Something different today? A new shade? Completely bald, Maya stated, her voice surprisingly steady. Lena stared, then let out a small laugh. Good one, Maya. You always did love a dramatic entrance. I'm not joking, Lena. Maya met her gaze, her expression firm. The smile slowly faded from Lena's face, replaced by an incredulous stare. You're serious? Dead serious. A beat of silence. Lena looked from Maya to Chloe, who was standing by the doorway, a mixture of apprehension and excitement on her face. Lena, a professional through and through, finally nodded, a flicker of understanding in her eyes. This wasn't a whim. This was a decision. All right then, Lena said, her voice softer now. She reached for a different cape, not the usual black plastic, but a vibrant fire engine red PVC one. If you're going to go bald, you might as well do it in style. Maya felt a jolt of adrenaline as Lena draped the slick, cool red cape around her shoulders, securing it snugly at her neck. The sensation was oddly ceremonial. Lena picked up the electric clippers, their low hum now a prelude to the unknown. The first pass was the most startling. A thick swath of dark copper hair, so long and familiar, fell away in a single, clean swipe, landing softly on the red PVC. Maya watched in the mirror, a strange mix of shock and exhilaration washing over her. With each subsequent pass, more of her identity seemed to shed. The clippers moved with expert precision, leaving behind a stark, pale scalp. The cool air on her bared skin felt alien, yet strangely liberating. Lena worked systematically, her movements fluid and practiced. The clippers buzzed around her ears, the back of her head, down to her nape. Maya closed her eyes, letting the sensation wash over her. The weight that had been on her head for years, both literally and figuratively, was lifting. When Lena finally put down the clippers and picked up a smaller trimmer, Maya opened her eyes. Her reflection stared back, almost unrecognizable. A smooth, almost pearlescent scalp gleamed where her vibrant hair had been. Lena then applied a cool, soothing cream, massaging it gently into her skin before picking up a razor. This was it. The final step. The razor glided effortlessly, whispering across her scalp, removing the last vestiges of stubble. It was an incredibly intimate process, a complete surrender. Maya felt a lightness she hadn't known she was carrying. When Lena finally stepped back, holding a mirror for her, Maya saw not just a bald head, but a new canvas, a stark and beautiful statement. She ran a hand over her smooth scalp, the sensation both foreign and utterly captivating. A wide, uninhibited smile spread across her face. Wow, was all she could manage. It's amazing. Lena smiled, a hint of pride in her eyes. It suits you, Maya. It really does. Then a voice from the doorway, a voice thick with a sudden, overwhelming impulse. Lena, can you do me next? It was Chloe. Her usually composed features were alight with a wild, impulsive gleam. Maya turned, her bald head gleaming under the living room lights, and met her sister's gaze. There was no doubt in Chloe's eyes. Lena looked at Chloe, then back at Maya, a knowing smile playing on her lips. Are you sure, Chloe? Your beautiful curls. I'm sure, Chloe said, her voice firm, resolute. I want to be bald too. A thrill shot through Maya. This was unexpected, yet somehow perfectly right. The shared journey, the mirroring of their individual transformations. Lena, without a word, guided Chloe to the barber's chair. And once again, the red PVC cape was draped, this time over Chloe's shoulders, a powerful symbol of their collective decision. Chloe's blonde gray hair, usually so meticulously styled, was about to meet the same fate as Maya's copper locks. The clippers hummed to life again, and Chloe, a slight tremor in her hands, closed her eyes. The first swath of highlights and curls fell, a soft contrast against the vibrant red cape. Chloe gasped, a mixture of shock and liberation. The process for Chloe was similar, methodical, and just as mesmerizing. Each buzz of the clippers seemed to strip away layers, not just of hair, but of expectation, of their accustomed identities. The transformation was as profound for Chloe as it had been for Maya. When Lena finished with the clippers and began the razor shave, Chloe leaned into it, a serene expression on her face. The cool cream, the gentle glide of the razor, all contributed to an experience that was both radical and strangely peaceful. Finally, Lena stepped back. Two bald heads gleamed under the living room lights. Two sisters, still draped in their matching red PVC capes, stared at each other, their eyes wide with a shared sense of awe and a mischievous joy. We did it, Maya whispered, her voice full of wonder. We really did, Chloe responded, her hand instinctively going to her smooth scalp. A giddy laugh escaped Maya. We have to take a picture. Right now, while we're still in our capes. Chloe, her eyes sparkling, nodded enthusiastically. Yes, a bald twin photo shoot. Still in their bright red PVC capes, their newly shorn heads gleaming, they stood side by side, their arms around each other. The flash of the phone camera captured the moment. Two 21-year-old women, sisters, bald and bold, their faces radiating a defiant joy. A silent testament to a shared, impulsive, and utterly liberating transformation.